Okay, this is about trig ratios, and before we do any problems, I'm going to point out two things. One, you need to know these trig ratios or these formulas and their relationships. Now, before in geometry, you probably learned about SOHCAHTOA, which was sine, cosine, and tangent. Well, there's more. There are three more. Cosecant, secant, and cotangent. So I have those listed here. Sine, as you know, is the opposite of theta divided by the hypotenuse. Cosine is the adjacent of theta divided by the hypotenuse. And then tangent would be the opposite of theta divided by the adjacent of theta. Again, theta represents any angle. So sine, opposite over hypotenuse, cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse, and TOA, tangent, opposite over adjacent. Now, we have some other ones. There would be cosecant. The cosecant of theta is equal to the hypotenuse divided by the side opposite of theta. Secant of theta is equal to the hypotenuse divided by the adjacent, the side adjacent to theta. And then your cotangent of theta is equal to the side adjacent to theta divided by the side opposite theta. All right, now there are some other relationships in here that you can kind of see if you look at the actual fractions or the ratios. If you look at sine and cosecant, you can see that they're reciprocals of one another, as well as cosine and secant and tangent and cotangent. So we call those reciprocal identities, and I wrote those right here where you see sine theta is equal to 1 over cosecant theta. Cosecant theta is equal to 1 over sine theta. Cosine theta is equal to 1 over secant theta. Secant theta is equal to 1 over cosine theta. Tangent theta is equal to 1 over cotangent theta. And then cotangent theta is equal to 1 over tangent theta. The last relationships that you will probably use will be they call them Pythagorean identities. No, they don't. I forgot what they're called. But they're identities nonetheless. So if you look at sine and cosine, if you actually take the ratios of sine and cosine, opposite over hypotenuse divided by adjacent over hypotenuse, you get what tangent is, which is opposite over adjacent. And the same thing for cotangent of theta is equal to cosine theta over sine theta. Now, because I've been teaching math for a long time, of course, I have these memorized. You won't have them memorized, but you should have them handy until you start to memorize them. You use them so much, you start to memorize it, as well as the unit circle. For the problems in this section, you'll be using your unit circle, so I would suggest that you print it out and have it in your notebook handy because you're going to be asked to use that. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how you use the unit circle and these relationships to answer the question.